men and women, those that are constantly doing dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for these people, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has prepared a magnificent paradise and a great reward. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us to remember Him so many times in the Quran. After praying Jumu'ah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, go forth in the land and don't forget to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَثِيرًا لَعَلَّكُمْ تُفْلِحُونَ. After finishing Hajj, Allah says, فَإِذَا قَضَيْتُمْ مَنَاسِكَكُمْ فَاذْكُرُوا اللَّهَ كَذِكْرِكُمْ آبَاءَكُمْ وَأَشَدَّ ذِكْرًا. When you finish doing Hajj, don't think, khalas, you're done and that's it. No, when you go back after doing the greatest act of worship, what can you do to continue in that act of worship of Hajj? What can you do after Jumu'ah, after Hajj? What is the one act that will continue to be connected with Allah? That is dhikr of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So in today's short khutbah, I will remind myself and all of you of the importance of dhikr. And inshallah in future khutbahs, we're going to elaborate on certain types of dhikr and certain phrases that Allah and His Messenger have commanded us to do. Realize, my dear brothers and sisters, that the dhikr or the remembrance of Allah is indeed a sign of the spiritual life that we have. It is a sign of Iman. It is a sign of how much we love Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and how often we're thinking of Him. In fact, this is the reality of any relationship. The more you need somebody, the more you love someone, the more you think of that being, that person. So how about the one who is your creator, your sustainer, your nourisher? How about the one who gave you everything that you love? Should you not love Him the most? And if you love Him the most, should that not be reflected in how often you think about Him, how often you praise Him? Our Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, hadith is a Sahih Bukhari, مَثَلُ الَّذِي يَذْكُرُ اللَّهَ وَالَّذِي لَا يَذْكُرُ اللَّهَ كَمَثَلِ الْحَيِّ وَالْمَيِّتِ. The example of the one who does dhikr compared to the one who doesn't do dhikr is the same as the example of the one who's alive versus the one who's dead. This is a simple hadith that drives the point home. The one who remembers Allah constantly, he's alive. And the one who never remembers Allah spiritually, he's dead. The heart has died because there's no connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And in fact, one of our great scholars, Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah ta'ala, he mentioned that dhikr to the heart is like fish to the water to the fish. Dhikr to the heart is like water to the fish. That you need to surround the qalb with the dhikr of Allah. Just like the fish has to be surrounded by water. If you remove the water and you take this fish out of the water, what will happen to the fish? So Ibn Taymiyyah is saying, when you stop doing dhikr, when you stop remembering Allah, your heart begins to solidify, begins to petrify, begins to get hard. Of the blessings of dhikr, my dear brothers and sisters, is that dhikr causes Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to remember us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remembers us. فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. You do my dhikr, Allah says, I will do your dhikr. And what a great blessing it is when Allah Azza wa Jal mentions us and does dhikr of us. What does it mean Allah does dhikr of us? It means that our name is announced in the highest place. It means that the angels announce our name in the divine presence. It means that our du'as are answered. It means that, of course, Allah is aware of all of His creation. But this is an awareness of mercy now. This is an extra awareness, an extra remembrance. So Allah says, when you do my dhikr, I will do your dhikr. فَاذْكُرُونِي أَذْكُرْكُمْ. And this is of the greatest blessings of constantly remembering Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Of the blessings of dhikr that are mentioned in the Quran and the Sunnah is that dhikr causes shaitan to disappear. Dhikr causes our worst enemy to simply go away. And that is why we are commanded to seek refuge. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. And we are asked to remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala at times of grief, at times of fear, at times of anguish. When something terrifies us, when something troubles us, we are told, remember Allah. Udhkurullah. In a famous hadith in Sunan Abi Dawood, it is mentioned that one of the Sahaba was on his horse, and the horse seemed to be startled from nothing and almost threw the rider off. And the Sahabi said, La'natullahi ala shaitan. Allah's curse be on shaitan. Shaitan is the one that has caused my horse to basically become frightened. And the Prophet ﷺ said, don't say that. La taqul dhalik. Don't say that. Because when you attribute this to shaitan, whether he did it or not, shaitan will feel arrogance and pride. That I caused this man to stumble, and I caused his horse to stumble. Rather, you should have said Bismillah. Dhikr Allah. You should have said Bismillah. Because when you say Bismillah, shaitan shrinks. Shaitan becomes so insignificant that he becomes like a needle, or like an atom, or some word is used in Arabic that implies a very small particle. Simply by saying Bismillah at times of unease, uncertainty, you will bring about the expelling of shaitan. And this is of the benefits of dhikr. Of the benefits of dhikr is that dhikr causes one to develop a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. A door of conversation is opened up. The one who does dhikr constantly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is aware of this person, a special awareness. That person's dua has a higher chance of being answered. That person's religiosity, spirituality, protection from the angels, protection by the angels and against shaitan, all